right, welcome back to The World is Storytelling. Welcome to The World is Storytelling, Dan. Now, Dan, you are a phenomenal person who I know from working in the wedding industry. Some of the most powerful moments that I've observed of people on the most joyful days of their life have been in your company and surrounded by, what's it called? A
venue.
A venue, thank you. That's the word. That's the word which you've put your heart and soul into. And I'm back here today talking to Dan because you have some amazing stories.
One of the memories I have that is the strongest of the some 350 weddings we've done here since we opened was actually so very happy at its core, but had a slight shroud of sadness. We had a couple who got married here about a year and a half ago, who had been together for a long time, and they had a child, and they'd never really thought of getting married. Unfortunately, one of them got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and they decided that they wanted to have a day to be able to stand up in front of their families and proclaim that although this might come to an end, it will forever be them together. What that day allowed us to do was to take something that was ostensibly the saddest thing you can go through and to make it the happiest. They threw everything at the day. And our team, and I think you might have even been at that wedding, they created possibly the happiest event I've ever seen here. Unfortunately, I've had friends and family and former students. I used to be a teacher who have died, and it's rare for positivity to be there in the lead up to it as well. And I felt tremendously honoured and proud that we were able to help bring their day, that celebration of them and their love, to fruition.
Wow. And I think a testament to that is that I probably was, if it was a year and a half ago, I was probably working here at the time, but I don't think I knew about it because it was a very happy wedding like others, and probably even happier.
A lot of people didn't know, which again had its own, it created this bubble around it. It was a beautiful day.
Wow. There is so much joy to be seen in the way people decide to somehow condense a life's love or a life's joy into a day. But one of the things I'll always remember was the person that saved up a lot of money for a wedding and hadn't got married by the time she was 30, so decided to make an absolute splash out.
Yes.
30th birthday party, which was like a wedding, and that was so much fun.
She was just an absolute delight from beginning to end, and as you say, that she'd gone. There was not oh, I haven't got married. It was, you know what, I haven't got married. Can I swear on your podcast?
Yeah, please.
She was like, fuck it, let's just throw this. And there were probably 100 people here, yeah. And they had casino tables, and she had a bespoke made dress made of metal, and there were circus performers. I mean, it was just hilarious. And we don't get a lot of parties here, but when they do, they tend to be their own special thing, because they have frivolousness is unfair, but they like this party that you remember. Yeah. They have a special thing to them. We had a party last October that I remember very, very strongly, which was the 40th wedding anniversary, and then it was their kids' 23rd, 25th and 21st birthdays, and they'd combine them into one massive party, and you had generations here. And last December we had a couple who have every year they throw a big party. And they used to live in the countryside, and it was very, very easy, and they always just have it in their house. But they moved back into London, and they were looking for somewhere to have this party. They used to invite 300 people to their party.
Okay.
Our capacity is just under 200. And they decided who to invite to this year's party. Anybody who left early the previous year wasn't invited back. Which I just thought, what a wonderful, ruthless. It was brilliant. And our security team this year, we had to mark off very carefully who was here and who didn't turn up. And I know that they're not going to be invited back to next year's party.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't come to the actual events very often myself, but I did come to the beginning of that, and the atmosphere, it was truly electric.
I mean, going from one thing to another, weddings often lead into relationships, or relationships lead into weddings, or vice versa.
Hopefully both.
Hopefully both, exactly. I mean, often, yeah. Hey, let's see.
We'll leave that alone.
Leave that aside.
There's a reason we don't send anniversary cards.
Oh dear. But there was a party which I was behind the bar for as well, and I'm pretty sure you were there too. Perhaps
As a guest, if you're about to say what I think you are.
yes, you were as a there.
Very
as a guest.
bizarre experience for me.
Yeah, this was a piece of advice which I heard and everyone else at this party heard. Who was giving the speech? I think there were a couple. Do you remember
Neil and Jane.
Neil and Jane. Do you remember how long they'd been married?
25 years. It was their 25th anniversary.
25th anniversary, and I think it was Jane who was speaking, giving the
She
speech.
usually is.
Yeah. Well, I think they both did speak.
Yeah.
But I think this was in Jane's speech. So she was saying that they'd had a really wonderful start to their marriage, and it was about 3/4 of the year in to their marriage, 26 years ago now, and they had their first fight, and they were really letting it all out. They were screaming at each other, and it was getting late, and I think they had to go somewhere, but they were really angry with each other. And then Neil just said to Jane, "Okay, well, let's carry on shouting at each other, but let's jump up and down while we do so." And she said, "What do you mean, you idiot? We take this seriously. I'm angry with you. You're angry. Take this seriously. We're not jumping up." He said, "Okay, no, that's fine. We can carry on being angry with each other, but let's jump up and down as we do it." And she's, okay. And they start jumping up and down. I think what she said, you can't be angry with someone else.
Yeah.
While you're jumping up and down. And she said to this day, whenever they have an argument, they jump up and down during the argument, and it makes it all so much nicer.
The collection of little tidbits of advice you hear, whether it's a father of the bride giving a speech at a wedding or an anniversary party and things like that, it's always lovely. And I remember one. It was actually from a registrar, and it was before the wedding. That their conversation had taken place, but the registrar recounted this during the ceremony, unrehearsed. And she'd said to the groom, she'd asked him a question before the wedding, and he said, "Do you know what? I think it's probably best if you ask my fiancée."
Yeah.
And she regaled this story. She said, "I can tell you this is going to be a long and very happy marriage because that's your stance." And it made everybody laugh, and it makes particularly with the weddings, it makes everybody reminisce about their wedding or their parents' marriage or their marriage, or it on the sad end of things, every time you go to a funeral, you remember every funeral you've ever been to. At every wedding, you remember every wedding. It's an infectiously happy event to be at, and a very exciting and happy job for us to do. Having 2.5 years here, only never really not wanted to come to work.
I mean, you say that, but you are unique. I can bear witness to that. Dan is the most positive event manager, venue manager that I've ever worked with. And it makes you feel quite inadequate. not in a bad sense, but you, as a bar manager, as a bartender, I would go to places and you'd work with venue managers that just want to go home. And that's just the way things are in the service industry. They put on the smile, they put on the suit, but they don't want to be there. And behind the scenes, they're having a smoke and they're like, "When's this done?" But Dan is like, "Woo! Let's do more." Well, Dan, thank you very much for appearing on The World is Storytelling.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Tell us what the venue is. Let's give it a little bit of advertisement.
Good point. It's actually been advertising from the beginning. We are 100 Barrington. We're based in Brixton, just about an 8-minute walk from the tube station, and it's 100barrington.co.uk.
And that was The World is Storytelling with me, Ronnie. To support The World is Storytelling and our mission to bring wonderful stories that change the world, make sure to subscribe, rate, follow the podcast, buy the book, and get in touch with any questions, ideas, thoughts, whatever it may be. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you at the next one.